tutorial, we are going to do something new. At this point, you should have a tree moving across the screen, and it looks like your guy's going through a walk through the park. Okay, so we are going to add a sun that comes up and goes down, and then the sky is going to actually change color. First thing we're going to do is we're going to extend this entire animation. So right now I have about 96 frames. Doesn't matter if yours is exactly the same. But what we're going to do is drag across all of them, highlight them all, and we're going to right click. Let me show you something though. Here's an accident a lot of people fall into. You click, if you accidentally click and then drag, you move a frame, and I'm going to push Control Z, and you don't want to do that. So you kind of want to make sure like nothing's selected, and then in one swipe you go all across all of them. It's a little touchy until you get used to it. Okay, now I'm going to right click and say copy frames, and then I'm going to highlight an area that is about this longer than that same amount of frames, and I'm going to right click and say paste frames. Okay, now notice I started selecting after the selected frame, so I started at about 97. Okay, and if you'll take a look here, it put a new keyframe at the beginning, which is kind of good. It divides up where the first part was and then the second part that I just duplicated is. And you could see these keyframes here got copied over to here. Okay, so now my character just walks twice as long. But I'm going to use this point right here to create a new layer and add the sun. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna start in a wrong way so that you could see why I'm gonna correct this. So I'm gonna make a layer that is on the top. I'm gonna double click this, call it sun, and then here I need to add a blank keyframe. So I'm gonna I clicked it first, and then I'm gonna right click and say insert blank keyframe. So now I can put something, so whatever is happening here will change at this keyframe. Okay, now it's an empty keyframe. You see it's not filled. All these black circles have items in there. Any of these empty circles are called blank keyframes. There's nothing there. So now we are going to put our sun graphic in there. So what I've done is I created a sun for you, and I shared this link to my Google Drive. Now the reason why I created it and put it in the Google Drive is that we're going to work on a classroom project, and we're going to need to know how to utilize Google Drive. We're going to share our graphics with our team, and so you're going to go ahead and download this. You're going to download the image, right? And I've already done that, so you can see it's in my downloads folder here. So you go ahead and download it. It'll be in the downloads folder. Now in Animate, you're going to click in that blank keyframe and go File, Import to Stage, and in my downloads folder I'm going to go ahead and click Sun and hit Open, and there it is. Now the reason why I said I set this up wrong, incorrectly, is the sun is in front of the guy. So how about we put it in the back? And to do that, you could drag it all the way down. But whoops, where'd it go? The sky graphic is in front of the sun. So let's just drag it up one more layer, and that's where we want it. Okay, behind the ground, in front of the sky. Okay, now this sun layer is here. I want to make sure I don't interfere and accidentally grab a different item from a different layer. So you're going to lock all the layers by clicking this lock here, and then on the sun layer, just unlock that. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a motion tween. We're going to click this first keyframe here, and we're going to right click and say create motion tween and hit OK. And I'm going to start it over here on the bottom right corner. And now I am going to move the timeline to the end, make sure that I am on the sun layer, click the sun layer, and I'm going to drag the sun to the other side of the screen. Now, you might be thinking this is really silly. Why do we have the sun just going across the ground like this? Well, what we're going to do is you'll notice, hopefully on the video you can see that there is a dotted line right here. Okay, so while this layer is selected, I could move my mouse to this dotted line, okay? And my cursor puts like almost like a little smiley face next to it, like a little arc, little curve. And if I hold the mouse down and drag up, I could pull that curve, and that's the path that the sun will travel on. Let's go in reverse. Okay, and let's go forward, and you'll see what that's gonna do there. Okay, so let's hit play. It'll loop back from the beginning. So he's walking through the park, and then the sun is gonna rise, and it's gonna go back down. Okay, and so go ahead and have fun doing that. I'm gonna go control test so you could see it without the dotted line. And okay, and I did say we'll change the sky. I think I'll cut this video, I'll end the video here, and then I'll put another next video to make the sky, the gradient will change to like a sunset color, and then we'll make it nighttime, and then maybe we'll have the moon appear. Okay, go ahead and have fun creating your rising sun. Have fun.